Another important issue for you to know is that these tasks are divided into two things. What task that can be an activity and it's a verb, hand in, deliver, get, compile, and a task that we call a milestone, which is this moment that is going to be the first cut of your project in order to know if you're doing it correctly. A milestone, for instance, would be to get the actual permit for the construction. And this means that the permit is going to be, as I told you, it does not really depend on you, it depends on the government. So, of course, you calculate a length of the activity. If that does not happen, then you have this milestone that depends on the actual delivery of the permit. And that's where you can, I don't know, in buildings, this is what happens a lot. Once that you see that you're not getting the permit on time, that's when you call the people that already bought the apartment, and you tell them, like, this does not depend on me. I can show you my time frame and show you how we were expecting 6 weeks for the permit and it has already been 8. So our first milestone is already 2 weeks late. The good thing of the project management is for you to not only to think ahead and of this crisis and give enough times in order to have a good planning, but to have this milestone set correctly. So by the time you know that something that did not really depend on you is not happening, that's when you can ask or tell your sponsor, the client, or whoever, this is going to be lengthier than we thought. And in order for it to be lengthier, or for you to know how much longer, then you know that after getting the permit, you needed at least 18 months more. So that's when you tell him, our project is already 2 months behind. With whatever that means, of course, in some projects, like in construction, having 2 months after is very expensive. You have to pay for more workers, or sometimes you already hire the workers and they're sitting around just waiting for you to have the permit. So this is also another reason why you need to have project manager, in order to know exactly when to trigger the next activities. The set of milestones is going to be really important. Sometimes when it's a project that involves a lot of people, different areas have different milestones, but very importantly, these milestones depend on each other, because once that I have the permit, then perhaps that is a trigger for the first activity of human resources that is going to get the construction workers. And the construction workers are going to be hired and they're going to start, and now you know that you need, for instance, you need to get 15 construction workers. If by the second month you don't have the 15, then you know that it's going to delay the actual delivery. So you either get more, or you already know that you're going to be doubling the time. What is really important also is to understand that when you do project management, you're talking about both time and resources. Of course, the time issue is what I've already told you. It's important for you to plan ahead, to have good lengths of activities, not to think that everything is going to be done easily, like in 2 days we get the permit, because that is not going to happen. So you have to give yourself time. The other thing is to understand that sometimes you can diminish this time by increasing the resources. And for instance, in the construction, if you know that you're already 2 months on delay because of the permit, because this first milestone, remember, if you already know that, then perhaps you can get more resources as construction workers in your second milestone, that would be to hire the construction workers, in order for you to cover for those 2 weeks. So perhaps as you get, instead of 15, 20 workers, you get to shorten your time, and then you can keep on schedule. That's really important in every business, to know where is the equilibrium between the time and the resources. Of course, getting more workers is going to be expensive, but if you have a clause in your contracts, for instance, that says that if you deliver late, you're going to get a fine, or you're going to have to give a discount to the client, then that's where you weigh your choices and you think, perhaps it's better for me to invest in workers in order to avoid the fine or avoid the discount, because it's more expensive to pay the fine than only the workers. So those are the two things that are really important: the the workers and the resources. Another thing that is important in project management is to have everyone inside the project connected. We've already discussed this, I think. You can have different types of works, but you always have like the human resources, the operations, all these guys that are in your business functions. if they're going to be in the project, they need to know about the project. So even the guy in finances, he's going to be able to tell you, like, this is your budget. And with that budget in mind is that you decide if you get co-workers or not, or other co-workers, construction workers or not. So those are like the things. Now, this is like the theory of the project management. I would have loved to give you this in person, I'm sorry. But the important thing is, how do you actually translate this to the practice? And in computers, there's a lot of programs. Probably you have heard about Microsoft Project Manager, and the project is literally that. So what you do is you construct something that we call the WBS, the work baseline of the activities. So you have this big goal, and then you start like scrambling down, okay, the permit, and now in order to get the permit, I have to do these activities. In order for you to get like the simplest task in the low part, you know, like literally that one task is going to be ask for the information of the permit. You know, once that you get that one done, then you can get to the second one, then compile the information. And we've already discussed, compile the information can have a subset of activities. And you're going to be like checking all of those in order to get the big activity complete. It's important to, again, time, resources, and how you check them. And then something that we call their dependencies. If you're going to have an activity that like, check for the information with the delegation. You cannot do anything before you actually go to the delegation to ask, what do I need? So that activity will probably trigger another one. But there are some activities that you can do at the same time and they are not related. Like you can go ask for the permit and already be looking for the place that you're going to do the construction with. So all of this information is important. I'll just upload the video and I'll ask, and I'll in classroom or in YouTube, let me give you 5 minutes and I'll give you more information about this.